What's up guys, welcome back. This is Anime Crossover. You'll be watching What If Naruto Was Reincarnated as Vegito Part 2. Now let's begin. Yes, that is my intention, Naruto said to Trunks as he concluded his explanation of his strategy regarding androids 17 and 18. Trunks gazes downward and lets out a deep sigh. Alright, but I can only attribute this to the training I received, Trunks says, humbly acknowledging that the offer is a bit overwhelming for him. Naruto informed Trunks that he had the ability to transport him to New Namek through instant transmission. This would allow them to undo any damage caused by the androids and, if feasible, retrieve Gohan and Piccolo. Alright, let's go, Naruto said as he instructed the Neo-androids to secure the time machine. They appear identical to their original counterparts, but the similarities end there. When they approach the androids, they emit a signal that temporarily impairs them, and then they merge with them. Crafting his own rendition of Super 17 and Super 18 with full autonomy. He will not hesitate to assert his dominance over them at this stage. Naruto and Trunks both leap into action, swiftly entering the necessary commands. Within moments, they find themselves transported through time, and in the blink of an eye, they arrive in the future. That was rather underwhelming, so this is your world, Naruto remarks, carefully observing his surroundings as the hatch opens up. Wow, Naruto thought, it feels quite gloomy. Naruto gazes up at the sky, observing the clouds that blanket the horizon. He scrutinized the sky, sensing the presence of every individual on the planet, causing a shiver of fear to run through him. He maintained his composure as he sensed the intense aversion these individuals harbored towards the androids. Strange, Naruto pondered, noticing the absence of any signs of mass casualties. He speculated that perhaps people were taking a break, which he saw as a fortunate opportunity to search for them. He instructed the Neo-androids to scour for power levels, including those of other androids. N.A. Just to clarify, the androids from the future timeline lacked the ability to search for power levels, while those from the present timeline had a limited form of energy scanning. This scanning technology was not as advanced, primarily because future Trunks arrived in the past and his data and DNA were acquired much earlier. Found them, Neo 17 declares, with Trunks and Naruto in tow, as they track down the androids. Naruto pondered a matter and proceeded to share his thoughts with Trunks, slightly reducing his pace. Excuse me, Trunks was taken aback by his statement. Naruto proposed the idea of bringing his mother along on their journey to New Namek. Trunks asked, why? We will be teleporting to their home, and I'm uncertain if they will trust us, Naruto stated. After some time, they find themselves floating above a rather large mansion, as Naruto surveys the aftermath of several devastated cities and the countless casualties left in their wake. This brings back memories for Naruto, reminding him of Vegeta's past. So, this is where they end up after their little escapades, remarks Trunks, with a growl, as he releases a small ki blast towards the mansion, obliterating it. It frustrates Naruto as well, because every time they recklessly destroy a city, they effortlessly retreat to a life of luxury. So, that's them, he remarks, observing 17 and 18 before descending gracefully. Before 17 was able to speak, Naruto swiftly incapacitated him by forcefully knocking him to the ground with his tail, and similarly subdued 18 with a decisive strike. Naruto observes 18 for a moment. She is attractive, all things considered, but that is not why I am here. The androids that Naruto possesses start to converge, gradually merging together. 17 and 18 let out piercing screams while Trunks and Naruto observed. He noticed a malicious smile on Trunks' face, a sight that Naruto quickly comprehended. Memories from the ages of 17 and 18 are being erased and completely reconstructed to ensure absolute obedience to his every command. He is completely disregarding their autonomy. Naruto is completely indifferent to that. I am pleased with this experience, especially when I see all those cities from above. In this manner, they will prove to be valuable in elevating the mortal level in Naruto's timeline. At this moment, Naruto observed the cessation of 17 and 18's screams, or more accurately, Super 17 and Super 18. There it is finished, Naruto says to Trunks, who has tears streaming down his face. He gently places his hand on Trunks' shoulder, offering a comforting nod. It's finished, Trunks murmurs, yes, it is. Naruto was in full agreement. There are still tasks that require our attention, Naruto stated, soaring upwards towards Capsule Corp alongside Trunks and his super androids. Trunks, you know what to do when Gohan gets revived, Naruto said to him as they flew down. I have provided you with all the necessary knowledge. You and Gohan will need to take charge and become experts in everything. You know what is coming next, Naruto continued informing him. Zamasu, Trunks said confidently. Naruto informed him about Zamasu and his intentions. He is familiar with the Mafuba technique and just needs to practice it. Naruto also informed him about the fusion dance, emphasizing the importance of using it without hesitation once Gohan reaches a comparable level. They descended swiftly upon their arrival at Capsule Corp. Naruto's point of view, thank you, I expressed to Bulma as she graciously hands me a cup of tea, while I proceed to elaborate on the reasons behind my rigorous training of Trunks and our subsequent journey to the future. So, you trained Trunks for what seems like a significant amount of time, she remarks as I casually sip on my tea. Indeed, I recognized the potential for growth in this situation, as well as the chance to revive as many individuals as possible, I expressed to Bulma, maintaining eye contact. I observe a few tears escaping her eyes, which she hastily brushes away with her hand. I suppose you truly embody the spirit of Goku, she remarks, gazing at her cup of tea as Trunks holds her hand tightly, offering solace. Don't worry, Mom, everything will be fine, he says with a slight smile, and I suppress the sense of satisfaction that washes over me. Despite my reservations, I am indeed an adult in some ways, and reflecting on Vegeta's recollections of his father's support and Goku's disinterest in learning about his own parents, along with my own memories of my biological family, truly resonates with me. King Vegeta may not have been the most exemplary father, but he did make an effort. Goku dedicated a significant portion of his life pondering about his parents and their thoughts on him. However, his perspective drastically changed when Raditz arrived and revealed the truth about his race and parents. Learning about their frequent acts of genocide shattered any curiosity he had about them, causing him to abandon any further pursuit of knowledge. However, I am aware of the reality regarding them. Jain was a person of high caliber, or at least as commendable as a Saiyan could be. Bardock's character underwent a significant transformation towards the end of his life as he made a valiant effort to protect planet Vegeta. I will make every effort to revive Gohan as well. He truly deserves that and more. I have already shared all my knowledge with Trunks. Now it's up to him to perfect his skills. He will proceed to impart all of his knowledge to Gohan. Why do you speak in such a cautious manner, now that the androids are no longer a threat and we will be handling the Dragon Balls with utmost care? What lies ahead? She asks at the end, and I let out a frustrated sigh as she wraps up. The androids are no longer a concern, but in the near future, it will be important to stay vigilant for an individual named Babidi. This person will make an attempt to revive Majin Buu, a formidable creature with a long-standing history. With the support of the local population, Trunks will have a significant advantage in his battle against Majin Buu. However, if they were able to acquire Trunks or Gohan, Trunks would already be well aware of what needs to be done in that situation. However, that is not particularly significant. It is crucial for Trunks and Gohan to visit Yardrat and acquire knowledge about spirit control. It enables us to manipulate our energy in a highly efficient manner. For instance, if I were to unleash a Ki Blast, with training in spirit control, I could achieve the same level of destruction with significantly less effort. Instead of merely destroying a car, I could potentially decimate an entire street, I explained to her. There is a technique that both Gohan and Trunks will need to master, known as forced spirit fission. They will need to. I outline a plan that I have, which I believe is feasible. Based on my recollection of the Moro arc, it appears that the Grand Supreme Kai remains alive within Buu. If Trunks and Gohan can successfully separate them, the Grand Supreme Kai will have the opportunity to reclaim his original position and resume his planet creation duties. Trunks and Gohan may need to make a compelling case to Zeno in order to save Universe 7 from being erased. Fortunately, there is a straightforward approach to achieve this. Blame Beerus for everything. Simple as that. It is quite straightforward to understand various concepts once you possess some knowledge about them. For instance, Beerus bears significant responsibility for the low mortal level in Universe 7. The mortal level can be quite straightforward to determine. There are 4 components that comprise it. First, the power level is aligned with a specific stage of development. Furthermore, the quality of life is aligned with their stage in development. Third, the number of individuals in a universe based on their stage of development. Additionally, the level of technology is a crucial factor to consider. Guiding mortals is the purpose of Kais, while the god of destruction takes on the responsibility of eliminating any obstacles to mortal progress. Beerus's inconsistent behavior, lack of professionalism, unwillingness to cooperate, and apathetic attitude towards the Kais have resulted in numerous instances where he either completely obliterates advanced or emerging mortal civilizations, or permits excessively destructive forces to wreak havoc on mortal societies beyond their capacity to endure. In the initial episodes of Super, Beerus obliterates mortal worlds for minor offenses like displeasing food or impoliteness from unsophisticated beings who lack awareness of the divine and even lack the notion of a community. He almost causes catastrophic damage to Earth for similar motives. However, he is willing to tolerate individuals like Frieza, who have the power to destroy entire worlds. He goes to the extent of instructing Frieza to eliminate the Saiyans, who, at that time, were a letdown to him. This leads me to infer that he also puts up with Frieza because his penchant for conquering and destroying planets allows Beerus to slack off on his duties. In addition to that, there is also the matter of Majin Buu. He was eliminating Supreme Kais without any concern for dealing with Buu, even though Elder Kai was trapped in the Z-Sword and he was likely in no immediate danger. If Shin were to be killed, there would be no one left to create new worlds. However, I highly doubt that Shin created new worlds that would have reached an advanced civilization by the time Zeno decided to destroy the universe. We have a genuine fucking god murderer who managed to get his hands on God Ki, no matter how little it was. How are mortals expected to contend with a Majin Buu who may have been fueled by God Ki and the power of the Grand Supreme Kai? Sure, the Grand Supreme Kai may have stopped Buu from using it, but should I even start on Moro at that point? If Zeno doesn't become unhappy with Beerus's carelessness, I don't know what would. However, a question comes to mind. Why do mortals exist in Dragon Ball? The gods here do not need worship faith, so why are humans even a thing? Questions for later. Bulma, here, I say, offering her a bag of capsules with heaps of resources so that she may start rebuilding. Here are as many resources as I could get in such short notice, I tell her, giving her a little bag of capsules loaded with supplies. Thanks, she replies, taking it from me. No problem, I answer rising up, finishing my tea. Well, Trunks, we have a long day ahead of us, I say as he rises up, and I grab. Do you mind if I tag along? Bulma inquired, and I just shrugged. Sure, I answer as Trunks places his hand on my right shoulder and Bulma takes mine. Putting my fingers on my forehead, I detect the key of the Namekian and employ immediate transmission. Naruto's POV, well, it looks the same, Bulma looks about, while Trunks is thrilled by the idea that there are 3 suns that aren't destroying the world. Who are you? Wait, is that you Bulma? Asks an old Namekian. Yes, Mori, if I remember right, says Bulma, moving closer to Mori. I am pleased to see a friend of our people. Those begin to converse as I look at the other Namekians and they gaze at me. Bulma explains to Mori why we are here, after explaining about the androids, and they agree to let us utilize the Dragon Balls. Within minutes, the Namekians had delivered the Dragon Balls. Summoning Purunga, a Namekian goes forward to make the wishes. Purunga says something I don't understand, and the Namekian turns to us. Purunga says that the one called Piccolo has merged with the one called Kami, therefore it will not be possible to bring them back separately. That will be fine, I answer, sighing. Mori shuts his eyes, and another Namekian approaches us. Hello, my name is Dend, and I was there when Gohan and the others fought Frieza. I know that your world needs a guardian and if is possible I am willing to become the guardian of Earth to help your world as you helped ours. Thank you, Dend, we would be honored if you became the guardian of Earth, I tell him honestly. The Namekian who made the first wish goes on to make the second one after wishing Piccolo back to life. It is done, the one called Gohan is now alive again, he explains, before making the third request. The capacity to utilize magic as if I were born with it, together with the greatest aptitude in magic that Purunga can grant me. A white light comes around me, and I sense something altering inside me. As if a door was opened in my spirit, and a warm flood of energy surged through my body. In my brain, I feel as if there were barriers there before that simply dissolved. I can feel something alter in my head. I can sense a type of energy within, but I'm not sure how to pull it out. Perhaps I can beg Kami to teach me magic. Thank you, I tell the Namekians and Bulma as I experience magic for the first time and fight the impulse to laugh. Magic Ki dismissed it, but Majin Buu and Moro demonstrated that it was as deadly and magnificent. Boo is able to change matter, cure people, and much more. Moro is able to utilize it to suck the energy of others, and even take their life energies, implying a type of soul manipulation. There may be more to it than I originally imagined. But that's for later. So why did you want magic? Says Bulma, interested. Simple, I am too far ahead of the curve, I tell her, sighing. What do you mean? I am more than prepared to face the majority of our opponents. Trunks and I can now defeat anybody, even the shadow dragons. Once he brings Gohan up to speed, those two will be prepared for almost anything, at least until that god comes kicking. The terrible reality is that I am currently the strongest combatant on the planet. My ki control is superb, as is my fighting technique, which I honed with Trunks and am still stronger than him. I have years to practice to grow stronger by myself till I can get Whis to coach me so that I can attain God Ki, to be honest. Training every day becomes really boring. Sure, I take breaks every now and again, but I can't maintain training for years on end with only ki control. Sure, I can better my own tactics and so on, but at this point, I have no real notion where to proceed away from magic. Sure, I'm going to Yardrat to learn all I can about spirit control for myself. But I want more than ki. I have numerous ways to grow stronger. But, honestly, I just want to achieve Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. After that, I'll aim to get Kaioken reach at least X100 while using Limit Breaker. I am going back soon, I add, staring at Bulma and Trunks who nod at me. I've done a lot for Trunks at this time. He also understands the little I know about God Ki. Thank you for everything, says Trunks, making me smile. Time skip 1 week later, Naruto had already returned to his time. How long will it take? I ask the computer in front of me, which has finally completed creating an enhanced spacecraft for me to utilize. I asked future Bulma for the plan that her father used to build Vegeta's spacecraft, along with the one Goku used. After scanning both into my computer, I instructed it to utilize both to enhance mine. Estimated time completion 2 months, 14 days, 6 hours, 12 minutes. Begin, I command it since there is no time for an eternal. I sit back in the chair, looking to the side at Super 17 and Super 18. Oh, right, I remark as I lean back against the screen and pull up one of the cameras to the undersea lab where Android 21 is. I stroke my chin while I consider what to do about her. She may be a wonderful ally, but her Majin side will be a significant concern. That could work, I remark, thinking of making her upset enough to divide Android 21 into 2. I can assist the good one transform the other one into chocolate and eat it. Evil Boo became the dominating personality, and although he was impacted by Good Boo, he remained mostly himself. Maybe Good 21 can absorb her evil counterpart and merge together that way. I groan at that since there is still a few years till she becomes a problem. I adjust the screen to look over at Cell and see that he is a little different now owing to the DNA alterations that I performed by having the computer give him more Frieza and Saiyan DNA. He will appear like a much lighter green version of himself, with purple. He may really have some hair on his tail. I rise up and order 17 and 18 to protect the lab and take care of the shipments that come in. I step out and go to the lookout because I am going to ask Kami for some instruction in magic. Time skip 3 weeks later. Naruto's POV. Cool, I remark with childlike joy at some new garments that I have manufactured with the garments beam. You seem very satisfied with the results, Kami comments with amusement while I sew some garments. Honestly, yeah, I had no idea that magic was so amazing, I tell him as a white ball of magical energy appeared in front of me as I drew some garments for myself but discarded it to preserve it for later. Yes, but one must be cautious of the dangers involved, Kami says as I nod to him. In 2 weeks, I was able to learn magic from Kami. I was correct to do this. Kami is a fountain of information that I am making sure to learn from. Magic in Dragon Ball originates from 3 different things. The strength of the mind and soul. The third is linked to the soul because the more knowledgeable someone is, and depending on the sort of information, their soul becomes stronger and more capable of withstanding the strain exerted on it by magic. When utilizing magic, one must remain calm, to some degree, since one must also consider the sort of magic that one wishes to employ. For example, in the garments beam, a magic materialization application, one must consider how the garments will appear and what material will be used. This is also the reason why one's soul must be able to endure magic. When someone creates garments, they are physically transforming magical energy into substance that interacts with the real world. I may not be a scientist, not even close, but having the ability to make matter like this is, for want of a better description, godlike. However, given the genesis of magic materialization, it is not surprising. Obviously, it began with the Supreme Kai and those beneath them. Aside from learning magic materialization, I also learned some elemental magic due to Kami, who can use water magic. This does not imply that he can't use other elemental magic, but rather that he has an affinity for it and enjoys utilizing it. While I have a special interest in fire and lightning magic, in my basic form, I can employ the Uzaru's flame breath, although it is not as strong as when I am in my Great Ape form or Super Saiyan 4. In Super Saiyan 4, adding magic to my flame breath had some extremely fascinating results. The flame was intense enough to sear the fur on my left arm and left a little scar that had already vanished. My lightning power has been sluggish to develop, but I can now infuse it into my fists and unleash lightning bolts with them. I definitely learned to improve my physical characteristics, which isn't negative since I'm continuously learning. That is all I've learned about magic in 3 weeks, however. Purunga offered me the best magical abilities he could. It is up to me to develop that talent to its full potential. One of the things that I am going to learn is in New Namek, where I will receive 2 more wishes fulfilled, one for the Namekian people and one for them to prosper as a thank you. Unlock as much of my potential as possible, and whatever he can't unlock right now, it will open over time. I had the thought to wish for as much information about both ki and magic as he is able to offer me, but that would not make me stronger and would, in fact, be harmful. So I made another wish. A set of 2 books, one containing information about all of the magic and the other about ki, that he can put into them and that only I could read and grasp the knowledge contained therein, and that they were customized to be the best reading kind for myself. This implies that the content in the books will be put up for me to study at my own level until I complete them. I thanked Kami for his lessons and head towards my new house, which I made for myself. I commanded my computer to create several primitive androids for tasks like building and cooking. This new house of mine is constructed into a mountain surrounded by snow, and I made sure to get the best for myself inside it. This location is significantly more personal to me since it has always been a goal of mine to have a home constructed into a mountain since I first stepped on the summit of Hokage Mountain. I have spent my time resting since I returned from the Mirai timeframe. Sure, I learned some magic, but I've been taking things easy since then. I trained for 2 years in the time chamber and became Super Saiyan 4. I needed a break. Once my ship is done, I will proceed to the new Namek of this timeframe, and then it is off to Yardrat for me. Ring ring. What? I responded before shaking my head, as I did have a phone line built and gave it to every one of the Z fighters that had one as well, in case they needed anything. Sighing, I take up the phone to check who's calling. Hello, Naruto speaking, I remark while sipping a cola that tastes like Coke but is different from Pepsi. Hi, Naruto, this is Bulma, I hear over the phone and pay closer attention to it. Hi, Bulma. How are you doing? I asked her respectfully. Hey, are you doing anything right now? She asks with reluctance. Not really, I am just relaxing, I tell her. Oh, I wanted to ask if you wanted to go out sometime during the week, she continued, and I could barely see her uneasiness. I'd want to go out someday. What were you thinking? I asked her with a smile. Oh, I know, just the place. Naruto's POV, I look alright. I remark to myself as I wash my teeth and glance into my bathroom mirror. I'm wearing a white t-shirt, navy blue pants, a comfortable red sweater, and dark red sneakers. Wow, I remark, spitting out as the truth of the scenario sets me. I have a date. More importantly, I have a date with Bulma Briefs. Something I've never done in my previous or current life. Bulma is a really lovely lady. I confess to having a crush on her since she has several characteristics that I find beautiful. She is brilliant, witty, loving, most of the time, kind, and, most importantly, loyal. Traits that women in my previous life were losing in large numbers. Being transported here as Vegito is not a coincidence at all. I know it. Someone or something sent me here for a purpose, one I don't understand. I have been enjoying this new life of mine a lot, but I can't help but feel that the other shoe is going to drop, maybe not today or tomorrow, but I know it will. I'll be as prepared as I can for that day. I groan as I glance at my watch, which I've connected to Bulma's time zone, and see that I still have around half an hour until I walk over to her home to pick her up. I gaze in the mirror at my face and think about something. Why am I here? How did I get here? Who or what brought me here, and why? Thinking about it doesn't make literal sense. I have vast knowledge on how to gain stronger using the Dragon Balls, especially since I am a Saiyan, not to mention that I am now fucking Vegito or anything that can come near to him. Now I can transform Super Saiyan 4 with Kaioken plus magic. Sure, I can hardly improve my physical attributes, but I'll get there someday. I am very confident I will not utilize Super Saiyan 3 much, if ever again. Since if an opponent pushes me to Super Saiyan 2, I'd prefer simply become Super Saiyan 4 instead of 3 if they unveil some gimmick-like transformation or a technique comparable to Kaioken. Thinking about it some more, I don't know where to go beyond Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. I know it can be accomplished by pure might alone, but I'm not sure where to proceed from there. Is there anything like Super Saiyan 5? Since the multiverse exists, there must be someone who possesses it. But even more, should I seek Super Saiyan 5, something that I have no real understanding of, or should I wait until Goten is born, as I know Chi-Chi is pregnant since I checked in on Goku and his family this morning, or should I wait until at least Trunks and Goten grow up? Goku became Super Saiyan 2 a few days ago. I'm thinking of informing him how to become Super Saiyan 4 sooner since I want to execute the heavenly ritual on myself. I begged Mirai Trunks to teach Super Saiyan 4 to the Gohan of his time while waiting for Vegeta to calm down for a few years before notifying him if feasible. I can only image the pure power boost that will offer me. With Goku, Mirai Gohan, Mirai Trunks, Mirai Vegeta, and maybe the Gohan of this reality as Super Saiyan 4s conducting the ritual on me. As I leave my house and proceed to fly over to Bulma's place to pick her up, I shake my head, clearing my mind of those thoughts for the time being. Touching landing, it simply takes a few seconds with my speed to arrive. I send a text to Bulma, who answers that she is on her way and is in the elevator. I glance to the door as she exits the building. I smile at her as her eyes focus on me. She smiled back. Time skip Bulma and I like walking around the colorful amusement park, taking in the vivid atmosphere and the laughing of others around us. The sun beams brilliantly overhead, providing a pleasant warmth to our trek. Bulma turns to me with a cheeky smile on her face. I can't wait to try out some of the stuff, she told me. That looks good, want to get some? I question her as I gaze at a burger restaurant. Isn't it a bit early? She asks, gazing at me with an eyebrow lifted. I was primarily inquiring about the milkshakes. Some of them look really different compared to what I am used to, I tell her, leaning in to look at the options. Grape, apple, cherry, strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, I read aloud before remembering. Sorry, I tell Bulma, stroking the back of my neck slightly. She chuckles a little. I know you Saiyans are always hungry, she replies, chuckling playfully. That's not untrue, by the way. What have you been doing ever since I saw you? Well, I have been learning magic, Naruto said with a smile. Magic? I thought ki was magic, she adds. Oh no, while magic and ki can both blow stuff up, one is far more annoying to learn, I reply, fuming at the idea that I am going to have to study books and build my own understanding of it for it to get stronger. Really, could I learn magic? She asks, and I shrug. I could not originally use magic myself until I wished for it. You wished for it, that's why you used the dragon radar, but what would make you wish for the ability to use magic? She asks, perplexed, but gradually develops a "oh" expression on her face as she puts everything together. Even so, Bulma, I am much too powerful and have reached a stage where I am struggling to improve my own abilities with ki alone. Not to say that I won't become stronger or more proficient with ki over time, but I want something else to go with it. I'm already far ahead of all the other combatants on Earth, and this is my time to study magic, particularly given how strong it may be, I add. Wow, so is it as strong or nearly as strong as ki? She asked, and I decided to tell her the truth. To be honest, both are basically the same. Ki, someone may become so powerful that just charging up with ki can rock the whole cosmos. I inform her that someone with magic could take all of the energy out of the cosmos for himself. She stands in awe as I order a cherry milkshake and begin to drink it. She turns to look at me, and I immediately see why. Yes, Bulma, powerful beings are coming to Earth or for the universe in the future, I tell her, and she begins shivering. I sigh and cuddle her. It's going to be okay. We managed to defeat them in the future. Even now, I am sure that by the time that they come around, I will be able to take care of them before they become a problem. I know she's terrified of them, and to be honest, after I started learning magic myself, I understood that magic rivals ki. You guys managed to defeat them? She inquires, and I go on to tell her about several other adversaries that I know about. Especially about creatures like Beerus and Moro, stuff like God Key and the like as we continued to enjoy ourselves. She even told me about something she did as a youngster, and to be honest, I'm wondering whether she's a Tuffle. To be honest, thinking about that makes me somewhat melancholy. The Tuffles welcomed the Saiyans to their home world and offered them food, medicine, and shelter. In terms of attitude, they reminded me more of the Tuffles from Universe 2. However, it seems that in Universe 7, they were more focused on technology than love. However, I suppose conflict transforms people. So, this gravity chamber helped you guys out? Bulma inquires as we begin our journey back to her house. It sure did, and I am pretty sure we would have been toast without it, I tell her honestly. I've told her a lot of information, and I made her pledge not to tell Goku anything about the other Super Saiyan forms until I did. Hey, you mentioned that you wanted me to research your Super Saiyan forms, she said. Yes, I have figured something out about them, but having someone research my body and how to get stronger will be beneficial, and also to spend some more time with you, I confessed to her, which is one of the reasons why I wanted her to do it. Oh, I am sure we can make that happen, she says as she leans forward, kisses me on the cheek, and walks inside her home. Yes, I will, I answer, watching her walk inside before frowning. Something seemed wrong about our excursion. She seemed to hold back a lot, and I had to prod her to tell me, and she did not behave the way that I anticipated. But it's something I'll have to find out when I grow closer to her. Naruto's POV. So what are the results? I question Bulma as she glides around me with a scanner in her palm, since I am Super Saiyan. Incredible, thanks to the technology that you brought me, I can see that these S cells are responsible for your transformation are something beyond human limits, not just that it seems that this energy is enhancing your body multiple times, she said. I thought Super Saiyan was something that just made you stronger, but it doesn't end there. It appears to enhance everything literally. Have you tried using magic while using it? She suddenly asks, and I have a oh look on my face. No, I haven't yet, I tell her as I want to facepalm because I haven't really given any thought to infusing the power of the S cells specifically to such an extent. I already knew that it increased the attack power of my magic, but now that I know that it affects other things, it may even affect healing magic. I point away and create some Saiyan-style armor, and I smile a little since the effort and quantity of power that it took was low. Wait, you just create matter like that? She asks, sliding her palm over her pale face. Yup, although it's more like turning energy into matter. But how the sheer amount of energy needed to even create it is immense, she said. Oh, yes. You haven't worked it out yet. There are several types of energy, Bulma. Many varieties. You are usually thinking about electric-based energy, but it does not mean there aren't other sorts of energy. Magic just happens to be the simplest and least energy-intensive kind of energy to convert into matter. I explain with my rather limited understanding of magic. Wait, you mean? Indeed, various forms of energy possess surprising applications that may defy your expectations. However, for a more comprehensive explanation, I will need to enhance my expertise in this area. Alternatively, you could consider seeking guidance from Kami, who can provide you with a thorough understanding, I inform her. Oh my, she says, clicking her teeth. Based on the analysis of the S cells, it is evident that a certain level of activity is present. What is the cost? Approximately 50%. Sure, let's give it a try, I say confidently, transforming into my powerful Super Saiyan form. Fascinating, it appears that approximately 80% of them are active, but it seems that they are being activated incorrectly or experiencing some sort of issue, she remarks, moving closer behind me. Incorrect, take a look, she says, holding a tablet up to my face. I can easily discern the situation with the S cells. The majority of the part is consistently glowing, while the remaining 30% are flickering intermittently. The others are not currently active. They seem to be on the verge of shutting down, but at the last minute, they regain their activity. Alright, transform once more. I become highly skilled and observant as I transform into Super Saiyan 2, immediately noticing something of importance. I can feel the power coursing through my veins. Wait, so this implies the various levels of Super Saiyan can be seen as distinct forms of activation. With this wealth of information, it becomes plausible to speculate that Super Saiyan 3 functions as an overcharge mode, pushing the S cells to produce more energy than they can handle. This could potentially explain the drawbacks associated with Super Saiyan 3 that you mentioned. What are your thoughts on Super Saiyan 4 then? I inquire with her. To be completely frank, I believe it's complete nonsense, she says. Based on the information provided, it seems that you are able to achieve a humanoid form by compressing the great ape. This transformation offers several advantages, and it is intriguing how you manage to avoid the gravitational collapse that would typically occur when compressing such a massive amount of mass. Additionally, your ability to instinctively utilize mass shifting is quite fascinating. She spoke with a level of expertise that surpassed my understanding, and her insights were quite logical. Attempting to keep up with her, I reverted back to my normal state and cautiously gestured for her to calm down, as she seemed to be getting a bit carried away. Oh, my apologies, it's simply incredible. It seems that Saiyans possess an inherent ability to push beyond their limits, defying expectations. Your abilities surpass those of any other species, as you can adapt and thrive in any environment, even potentially in space. She speaks and I remain silent in response. Saiyans are destined to surpass all boundaries frankly, as a Saiyan who understands the relentless pursuit of breaking limits and the multitude of forms that Saiyans possess. Could you please activate Super Saiyan 4? She inquires as I affirm, and as I undergo a transformation, I take great care to regulate my power level in order to avoid inciting widespread panic. Wow, she exclaims, and I can't help but smile slightly. So, this is Super Saiyan 4, she remarks, casually strolling around me and giving me a thorough scan. She examines my feet with a slight disapproval. How are you not causing damage to the floor or at least putting pressure on it? Based on these readings, you seem to have a significant weight, she remarks while examining my fur, lifting my arm, and applying slight pressure. It's quite remarkable how solid and immovable you are, almost like a living statue. She is interrupted when the scan displaying my S cells appears on a screen. All of them are activated, but, oh, I see, she says, bringing a tablet closer to me. They have undergone a transformation, I observe, noting the disparities between regular S cells and those that have undergone the usarification process. In this transformed state, your cells exhibit a higher density, resulting in an amplified energy output and enhanced capacity to handle increased power. Wow, your overall physique has greatly improved. Is it possible to deactivate the S cells in your body while keeping the compressed great ape transformation intact? She requests and I make an effort to comply, but as soon as I successfully deactivate the S cells, I start reverting back to my regular great ape form. With my power dwindling, I promptly reactivate them and transform into Super Saiyan 4 again, all in order to prevent any damage to the room. Well, that happened, I observed that I had returned to my usual state. What occurred? Can you please assist me, Bulma? I have a theory, she confidently states after carefully considering the matter and observing the outcomes. There is a possibility that the S cells may be playing a role in maintaining this condensed form. However, when you deactivate them, you revert back to the great ape form. It's important to note that this is purely a theoretical explanation. It could be possible, I assure her with a professional demeanor, and she reciprocates with a smile. Naruto's perspective, thank you for this. I express my gratitude to Elder Mori. Don't worry about it. You used 2 of the 3 wishes to greatly benefit Namek and its people, he said, still a bit stunned by my choice. I nodded in agreement. I utilized the initial wish from Purunga to ensure that Namek remains hidden from any malevolent forces. Indeed, with sufficient determination, one can uncover it, given their expertise and resources. Fortunately, Purunga was able to make adjustments so that the greater the number of Namekians residing here and their individual strength, the more they can contribute to safeguarding this place. The second is for New Namek and the Namekian people to flourish, and for the third and final wish. I quickly glance at my books. One contains all the relevant information regarding Ki, while the other focuses on the magical abilities bestowed by Purunga. I briefly glanced at them upon receiving them, and although I made an effort to conceal it, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. However, I quickly composed myself. These 2 books contain a wealth of theories, techniques, spells, rituals, and extensive knowledge that I am eager to explore. I neatly organize the books, bid my farewells, and swiftly transport myself back to Earth. I take a quick look at a specialized bracer, activate it, and observe the status of several projects I am working on. Super 17 and 18 are diligently training, while 13, 14, 15, and 16 have undergone modifications to enhance their abilities. They now possess energy absorption on their palms and can transfer energy to others. The completion of my ship is just a mere 2 weeks away. This is going to be significant, measuring at least half a mile in width and a quarter mile in height. Is it possible to make it smaller? However, I wanted it to include every possible aspect. I have various facilities on board, including a kitchen, a training facility equipped with a sealed-off gravity room, a greenhouse that is maintained by machines, living quarters, a manufacturing room for any custom items I may need, bathing rooms, and a storage room for supplies. While some may consider having a weapons room essential, I personally don't see it as a concern, especially since Ki renders most spaceship weaponry ineffective. One of the advantages is the ability to easily swap out modules when I return to Earth. One of the main reasons for pursuing this is to gradually incorporate additional modules. One notable feature of my ship is its modular design, allowing for easy customization and adaptability. Additionally, the engines can be replaced swiftly in case of emergencies. I ensured that an ample supply of materials was prepared to construct my ship multiple times from the ground up. I didn't have to buy many materials since I could simply materialize them. Throughout the ship, I ensured that I acquired Kachin, a highly sought-after material that is exceptionally rare. I invested a significant amount of resources to obtain enough of it in order to master the art of materializing it myself. I discovered that Jero had some in the facility where Android 21 is located. Speaking of 21, she currently has a greater strength than me in Super Saiyan 4, but when I combine my Kaioken times 35, I surpass her. She is incredibly intimidating and she hasn't even woken up yet. I can only tremble at the thought of her somehow gaining access to God's Ki. I am determined to find a way to transform her into an ally rather than an adversary. Returning to the ship, it is crucial for me to acquire the healing tank that the Frieza Force possesses. I may not require it personally, as my healing abilities are remarkably fast due to my immortality. However, if someone else requires it thanks to the memories of Vegeta, I am aware of the high quality of those things. While their abilities may not extend to limb regeneration, professionals in the medical field possess the remarkable skill of healing individuals from life-threatening injuries. They are adept at providing immediate care to stabilize patients until they can undergo necessary surgeries or other specialized procedures. In situations where immediate intervention is not possible, professionals diligently monitor patients, hoping for the best possible outcome. The entire ship will be powered by multiple infinite Ki generators, with several being kept in storage. Examining my other projects, like the Saiyan armor I'm having crafted from a unique Kachin-made fiber. In addition, there are plates, cups, forks, spoons, and knives that are also made out of Kachin. I am taken aback by that. Perhaps I am being overly ambitious with the items I am having produced, I mutter to myself as I quickly browse through the remaining items. I should consider leaving soon, or else I might never get off this planet, I remark with a slight sense of urgency as I glance at the extensive list of tasks that still need to be completed. Yeah, I say calmly as I power it down and proceed to dedicate the rest of the day to studying. 1 week later. So, that's how it's done. I utilize my expertise in the field to enhance the soil while planting senzu beans acquired from Korin. These beans will serve as a valuable resource for my future magical endeavors. I inquired with Korin regarding the origins of the beans, and he informed me that the original beans were the result of a magical ritual. The intention behind this ritual was to cultivate food that was not only nourishing but also possessed medicinal qualities. He achieved success as a warrior who scaled Korin's tower, where he was rewarded with a handful of beans. Naruto managed to persuade Korin to become his mentor. The senzu beans are truly exceptional, not just good, but truly great. They have the ability to sustain any living being's nourishment for a period of 10 days, including Saiyans. Additionally, they possess the skill to treat injuries and partially regenerate small appendages such as fingers, toes, ears, and other body parts. However, one of the few minor drawbacks is that the 10 days of being well-fed can be shortened by external factors. If someone were to inflict a severe injury to your upper torso, the body will naturally allocate some of its resources over a period of 10 days to heal and restore the damaged area. At the most, if someone was going to die in a minute due to serious injuries, they would still be fed for roughly 6 days, so it is not much of a loss. I am not just interested in the senzu beans since there are many things out there that remind me of the senzu beans, but they are considerably more hard to build yet scarier in terms of applicability. When I requested Purunga for the books on magic and Ki, I didn't understand how much true information on the topic exists. Heck, I have things from enchanting, artificing, stuff like magitech, necromancy, or even magic that can alter life itself. Everything about magic is in this book. For fuck's sake, I seen the magic to genuinely revive someone. Fortunately, I received some historical lectures on how and why this specific magic was created. It was created by an ancient magical culture around 3 billion years ago. They studied magic and pushed it to its limits, and I must say they performed an incredible job. Too bad they were obliterated by Beerus on orders of Zeno, as they found a technique to go to the other worlds. So in itself is not so awful, but what was unfortunate was that they got the time part of it incorrect and time traveled a few months into the future, alerting the gods. This was the reason why the whole civilization was obliterated, and with good cause. Messing with time on the level that they were doing will always have some kind of negative consequences. To be honest, having them removed was probably for the best. The fact that they could bring themselves back to life was a significant red signal for letting them survive. I shake my head as I read through all of this, and I just marvel at the notion that this world contains so much forgotten wisdom. It makes sense, however, the cosmos is vast, and with so many civilizations roaming about, it seems natural that certain civilizations evolved distinct methods of life using ki, magic, technology, or all three. This is some heavy shit, I remark, taking a gulp of some coffee that I had prepared for myself as I read over some of the spells that I am interested in. Like the one Babidi used to subjugate Vegeta and empower him with the Majin mark. It is a mark that harnesses negative emotions to increase someone's physical talents and, by extension, their ki. The only limitations to this are how much magic is utilized in the spell and how much the person getting this power boost can endure. However, Babidi performed 3 spells on Vegeta in a spell sequence: Negative Empowerment, Slavery, and Negative Emotion Receptive Increase spell. This worries me a little since, thanks to my abilities, he may be lured to Earth much sooner. I reviewed Moro's pure strength and threat level after reviewing some notes I had prepared for various spells that interested me. Fortunately, Moro's magical absorption is illustrated in this novel as well. I grimace as I recall one little information about a specific someone, 7-3. Moro was able to utilize him to mimic Maris' skills and get Ultra Instinct. I do not want to spend years practicing and improving Ultra Instinct. So, I'm going to deceive myself. I am going to wish for the knowledge to construct my own 7-3. Then utilize the technology that I have that can provide energy to someone and somehow locate Maris, replicate his ability to use Ultra Instinct, then train in, and eventually profit. From what I recall, Moro was not able to manage Maris' Angel Might, but his power is not what I want precisely. I simply want his Ultra Instinct. However, it is years from now. I shake my head at the concept. Recently, I've noticed that I'm delaying in a number of things since my perception of the passage of time has become somewhat warped. Since I began reading, I hardly knew a week had gone since I don't have to sleep much anymore. It seemed like just a few minutes had gone. This may become a problem that I don't know how to deal with. Shaking my head again, I know what I need to do. I need to kill or seal Moro so he does not restore his power. Which implies more studying. I don't mind at all. I giggle as I take some more notes for myself. Before being brought here, I was irritated because I couldn't comprehend some of the topics and had to depend on Kakashi, Jiraiya, and the others, as well as a lot of tutorials, to help me with some of my issues. Even with their assistance, I still had a difficulty. Now, I'm studying the mysteries of the cosmos itself, and I adore it. I shake my head a little more as I think about how I can acquire Ultra Instinct. To be honest, what I am going to do regarding Ultra Instinct is already way beyond what anybody else may realize, but that doesn't even come close to what I am planning for before that. God Ki, what is it? It's a different sort of Ki but just superior in overall. No, it is something quite distinct from Ki itself. At this point, I am simply wanting to get my hands on it, yet everything I know about it contradicts itself. In the original timeline, I know that Goku was cured by his God Ki, which suggests that the God Ki that someone has may naturally heal wounds that one may suffer from. Beerus also received a single scratch, although it healed very quickly. It also enhances someone's physique, like when Goku lost his godly form, he became Super Saiyan and didn't realize he plummeted out of it. I narrow my eyes at that information. Goku did not detect the loss in strength, which should have been obvious at first look. I shake my head as a notion develops in my thoughts. This is only a suggestion, but it might indicate that Goku didn't actually lose anything since it was merely inactive, but still there. So, Goku was as strong as he was in God form. However, Beerus was perhaps utilizing more or less power, but if Beerus was using the same amount of strength as he was with Super Saiyan God Goku, then why did he appear to have an edge over Goku at that point? My own experience gathered via Goku and Vegeta's memories offers a major indication, plus my own understanding of numerous things like these. Could it be that someone having God Ki has a conceptual edge over someone, and God Ki lifts someone to a higher level conceptually? That might help explain Goku Black's enormous strength and natural ability to get stronger. But, oh, I see, it is possible that unless someone truly becomes a god, as Goku did temporarily, they gain that conceptual advantage over mortals. However, Goku Black was originally a version of Zamasu that gained the body of a mortal, yet, he has God Ki naturally, which is rather strange, as Trunks was somehow able to sense Black, unless, due to how many times Trunks is said to have fought him, he could have more or less learned to sense Black's godly ki. Goku, but, okay, got it. The procedure momentarily transformed the individual into a complete deity, giving them the inherent edge against mortals. Goku and Vegeta's god forms do not provide them with healing or a potential conceptual edge over others. Granted, it is obvious that this conceptual advantage may be overcome by mere power. Cough Jiren cough. I brush my palm over my face as I realize how many layers of absolute nonsense exist. I will have to pull off. Well, let's get to it, I think to myself, going back to the magic book to read more. Time jump 3 days later. Naruto's POV blocking a blast from Goku in Super Saiyan 2 while in my basic form. Goku is a genius in fighting. I barely informed him some of what I know about the Super Saiyan forms, and he managed to reach Super Saiyan 2 with a little nudging on my side. I messed with many things, however, I am willing to face any of the repercussions of my conduct. Messing with events as I have will result in some significant alterations, since Goku will not die anytime soon if I can prevent it, nor will I let Gohan. I suppress the impulse to groan and strike Goku in the face as I think of Gohan. He does not enjoy fighting, at least not as much as Goku does. He enjoys a good spar every now and again, but that isn't what drives him on. Pay attention, damn it, Goku yells at me as I block one of his kicks, grab it, and drive my elbow into his knee, making him to scream in agony as I push him into the ground. I hum gently while thinking about this. I am so much above Goku right now that I am not really putting in any effort at all, yet it is rather pleasant battling against someone other than Trunks, even if it is Goku, someone whose abilities and knowledge I have and have since made them my own. Well, you need to train some more if you want to reach my level, I tell him, grinning because I know one thing. He won't, ha ha ha, when you said you were me, you really meant it, he adds, shutting down. I bend to one knee and place my hand on his chest to begin a very gradual process of healing. This is the only healing spell that I was able to learn for now, since everything else is a little too difficult for me at the time, even though the book itself will enable me study everything connected to magic at my own speed. I suppress the impulse to grimace as I learnt one extremely bothersome fact about Namekian magic when trying to master their healing. Their magic is effectively both bloodline locked and soul locked, which means I can't learn it since I am not a Namekian or have their blood in me naturally, and yes, it is a thing because neither my blood nor soul contains anything inherently Namekian. You know how I move and exactly how to counter everything I have, he remarked, moaning as he sat up. I think it is time I told you more, I tell him, mulling it over again. About what? About the other Super Saiyan forms, I inform him. Others? He asks suspiciously. Yes, we found other forms. Although, to be honest, it may be worth just to get the last one. Can you explain a bit more? I mean, I am getting a bit overwhelmed. Yes, the third metamorphosis occurs after the second. However, it is rather ineffective since it is much too taxing, and although it is useful for really brief conflicts, it is useless in all other situations. This is where the fourth form comes in. I continue to explain and simplify the transformations to him, but he understands once I explain it further in depth. I made it clear to him that I didn't provide him with this information without any compensation, and that I expect a favor in return. It took some time, and I came close to disclosing the details of the god ritual, but fortunately, I was able to avoid doing so. I have complete faith in Goku's ability to handle this information. However, it is important to consider that Whis possesses the ability to sense God Ki emanating from individuals, particularly those who possess immense power like us. This power is further amplified by the presence of God Ki, surpassing even the Kai of Universe 7. I prefer not to engage in any divine mischief until I attain a level comparable to Goku's initial transformation into his godly state while in my base form. Exhausted, I persist in tending to his wounds for nearly 30 minutes, yet he still bears a few remaining scratches. However, I have reached my personal limit. I suppress the inclination to express my exasperation at this. Consistently using the same spell for an extended period can be mentally draining, requiring significant focus. That will be completed by tomorrow. You will be in excellent condition. Thank you, said Goku, rising to his feet and performing some stretches. No need to worry about it, and regarding your comment about Gohan, I understand, but it's important to remember that I also have a paternal role in his life, I explained to him. I shared my candid thoughts about Gohan with him. I can appreciate Gohan's choice to avoid seeking out confrontations, but it would be wise for him to dedicate some time to honing his skills in order to safeguard his loved ones. I also advised Goku to disregard Chi-Chi's opinions regarding Gohan's future. The life of a scholar is not something he actively pursued, but rather a path he stumbled upon after enduring childhood trauma. I did advise Goku to seek assistance from Bulma in finding a trustworthy therapist. Gohan endured a series of challenging experiences during his childhood, including being taken captive by his uncle and later by Piccolo. He also faced physical harm from Nappa and Vegeta, and even suffered a broken neck on Namek. It is worth noting that Gohan was only 5 years old at the time. Additionally, he demonstrated remarkable courage in confronting the formidable Frieza. He is an exceptionally courageous child, but even the most resilient individuals need to release their emotions at some point. Gohan lacks the mindset of a warrior, instead embodying that of a guardian. I made it clear to Goku that when the situation demands it, Gohan will need to step up and take on additional responsibilities. This will also apply to his younger brother, Goten, once he is born. Farewell for the time being. I bid farewell and make my way towards Bulma's residence, as my departure from Earth is imminent. Naruto's perspective. Everything is set, I state, glancing at the compact screen on my scouter, confirming that my ship is prepared for liftoff. May I inquire about your estimated return time? Bulma inquires while holding baby Trunks in her arms. Approximately 2.5 years, is that so? Goku asks, examining my ship, but I could sense that something was troubling him. Indeed, one of the destinations on my itinerary is Yardrat, where I plan to undertake rigorous training in spirit control. Following that, I shall embark on a series of thrilling adventures, I inform them. Right, said Goku, appearing deep in thought. I express a slight disapproval. Observing him, I slightly shake my head and establish a telepathic connection with him. Use instant transmission to enter my ship. We can discuss it there. Smiley face. He didn't provide a direct response, but it was evident that he appreciated the opportunity. Also, Bulma, I want to express my gratitude for everything, I say sincerely, locking eyes with her. It pains me to admit that one of my greatest regrets is leaving her just as our relationship was starting to become more meaningful. However, I must depart. I am eager to enhance my skills and develop independently. Of course, I can remain here on Earth, but currently, it lacks the fulfillment and thrill I desire. I have a conversation with Bulma while the rest of the group is being led by a robot. Soon, I start to bid farewell, and just as I'm about to depart, Bulma leans in and plants a gentle kiss on my cheek. I greet her with a friendly smile, reciprocating her warm expression. We'll discuss things when you return if there's still mutual interest, she says, giving me a playful wink, and my smile grows even wider. I will be away for a duration of 2 years. It's been a while, so if we still want this, we'll see where we go from there, she concludes with a smile. Yes, I respond succinctly. Goodbye, I say to her. Take care, she says, confidently striding away with a graceful sway in her hips. As I observed her and prepared to board my ship, I departed from Earth swiftly. Observing from a screen, I depart the atmosphere, and before long, I sense the presence of Goku's energy on my ship. Well, let's have a conversation, I say to Goku, gesturing for him to join me in the kitchen. So, how did it go? I inquire of Goku, who wears a displeased expression. Chi-Chi is expecting another baby, and I discussed with her the importance of Gohan receiving therapy. I was able to convince her to agree to it. However, she refuses to acknowledge the situation where Gohan is expected to receive training. Gohan himself expresses that he is not interested in fighting for the sake of excitement, but he wouldn't mind engaging in occasional sparring sessions, he says, letting out a sigh before delicately sipping from a carefully brewed tea. With my knowledge of Goku's memories and experiences, I am aware that Grandpa Gohan maintained a small garden for cultivating various types of tea. As I observe Goku's serene expression, I can't help but mirror his gentle smile while enjoying a sip of my own tea. Goku, Please understand that Gohan is equally your child and Chi-Chi's. Regardless of her opinion, you can firmly express that it's time for her to accept it. I vividly recall the immense pressure Gohan faced as he was compelled to study relentlessly, despite being just a child. She made him study for days on end, with only occasional breaks. He has dedicated countless hours to studying since a very young age, and both you and he have been deeply affected by your Saiyan heritage, to the extent that you are hesitant to explore it further. I find myself sighing, as I have been holding this in for quite some time now. Listen, I understand your concerns regarding the purpose of your arrival on Earth as a child. Rest assured, I have discovered the true reason behind our presence here. I inform him, effectively silencing any objections he might have had. We were brought here for our safety. Our father, Bardock, had a strong intuition that something was amiss when Frieza commanded all Saiyans to return to planet Vegeta. He managed to persuade our mother, Jine, to send you to Earth, a place where the inhabitants are not as formidable. In the event that nothing went awry, they would have come to Earth to retrieve you and bring you back home. But you know the rest, I inform him, observing his shocked expression and the hint of tears in his eyes. I refined my expression. Listen, the Gohan of my time was a skilled warrior. However, it's frustrating to see him prioritize his scholarly pursuits and neglect his training until he was almost 30. By then, it was too late. Just 2 years before we were defeated and I was sent back here, he finally started taking his training seriously and made significant progress. The truth is, if Gohan had been committed to his training earlier, he could have made a huge difference in the battle, I explained to him. I understand Chi-Chi's fear of Gohan's mortality, and I must admit, it is quite distressing. I convey to him with a significant gaze, and he comprehends the gravity of the situation. Gohan met his demise at the merciless hands of Kid Buu. However, he is unaware of this. However, Goku, I believe it is important for you to be informed, I state, maintaining eye contact for a moment. See the adversaries that are, after a couple of hours. Wow, exclaims Goku, slightly dazed, as I provide him with a more detailed explanation about certain beings out there. Yes, I state, savoring a mouthful of delectable dinosaur roast meat and sipping on a refreshing soda. So, yes, I inform him in a straightforward manner as I elaborated on additional details, such as the events that led to the Tournament of Power and the existence of the 12 universes. I informed him that the circumstances that led me to this point were well beyond that, and I chose not to disclose the existence of God Ki. However, I did make a point to mention the peculiar inability to sense Beerus's energy. I felt a sense of regret for not providing him with more information, but I am genuinely unwilling to take any further risks. Sharing information about Super Saiyan 4 and its attainment is already more than I wish to disclose at this time. One of the main reasons for keeping him in the dark about God Ki is to maintain a low profile, given the uncertainty surrounding Zamasu's potential impact on the situation. I advised Trunks to return to me promptly if he encounters an opponent he cannot handle, as I am prepared to assist him in resolving the situation. Goku, I have shared a significant amount of information with you, perhaps more than I should have. If circumstances become unfavorable, I am prepared to accept full responsibility for any potential consequences. However, it is important for you to understand the true nature of the situation. You have undoubtedly made a significant impact on the lives of many individuals. However, it is crucial to consider the potential repercussions of your actions. I expressed to him my commitment to taking responsibility for my own choices. Goku examines his hands, revealing a clear sense of frustration regarding his potential future actions. Experiencing the immense pressure of being solely accountable for the erasure of multiple universes, and then narrowly salvaging them by sheer chance, is an incredibly harrowing ordeal that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. I omitted several details, clearly. I am apprehensive about the potential consequences of disclosing the information regarding Zamasu and his actions to him. Rest assured, as long as we collectively strive for growth and exercise caution in our future endeavors, we can overcome this obstacle, I reassure him. In order to safeguard the universes, it is imperative that we proceed with the tournament. We must exercise utmost caution when handling the Dragon Balls, entrusting them only to individuals we can rely on. I propose allocating one to Kami, another to Roshi, and one to Bulma. Let us carefully consider who else should be entrusted with one for safekeeping, I suggest, and Goku nods earnestly in agreement. We continued our conversation for a little longer until Goku had to depart, as we were venturing far beyond the limits of his instant transmission within my vessel. After bidding farewell, I find myself fixated on the spot where he stood just moments ago. Oh no, I mutter, sighing to myself as I contemplate Goku's predicament further. It is important for him to regain control of his situation. I head towards the control room and observe the course set for a planet that attracts various species for trading and commerce. After conducting a thorough check, everything appears to be in order. I enable the autopilot and proceed to my quarters. I dress in comfortable attire and commence studying my book on Ki. I have gained extensive knowledge about Ki and its underlying essence, specifically the driving force behind it. Learning about how one can argue that Ki possesses a certain level of self-awareness, as it exerts a beneficial influence on the soul, body, and mind. It is a formidable power derived from these three elements, which can be harnessed through one's Genki or inner strength and bravery. The will of each individual is diverse from person to person since one needs to consider race, personality, and general attitude of someone. Will does not imply consciousness. If anything, it's more or less a liking for something or having a specific aptitude that sets them apart from others. Someone may have a will that basically allows them to be calm, allowing for an enormous amount of Ki control, being able to employ Ki fire or Ki electricity to an even larger extent, even things like physical development, and so much more. I stroke my chin as I review more of this material. This was never truly portrayed in Dragon Ball, as far as I am aware. It might be one of those things that Toriyama attempted to include but became tired with the concept and chose to discard it. I could understand why. This is very complex material that will take even me years to fully grasp. You shouldn't even attempt to muck about with it unless you have these three items: sufficient strength, adequate understanding of Ki, and, of course, Ki control. There are other prerequisites for one to be able to change this aspect of oneself. However, some fortunate individuals may access their affinity, will intuitively. Frieza is one of these individuals. My book describes how his will enabled him to raise his strength at 1/30th of the work put in. It is such fucking bullshit because not only does it help him to become stronger easier, but he gets stronger the older he gets, not by much but it does add up over time. I know Goku, Vegeta, and I have not accessed our wills yet. I can learn to do so, but accessing or awakening someone's will is a quite different thing. Accessing one's will is the easy part of the procedure, but in my unique instance, I have to first awaken it and then learn to access it. It would have taken me roughly a year to understand how to access my will, yet, awakening my will would take me years. At best, 8 years, at worst, 20 years. Better get started on that, I suggest, going over the procedure of awakening someone's will again and taking some notes. Sighing, I peek at a clock beside me and decide to take the night off. Today was a whirlwind of emotions. I ask one of the cook bots to prepare me some food. It takes less than 3 minutes, and I grin when I notice the quantity of food. It's far less than when I initially moved here. A few pieces of dinosaur steak, with veggies, a bowl of steamed rice with some pieces of chicken mixed within the rice and other pieces sitting on top with some teriyaki sauce, and some dessert on the side with a bottle of cola. I giggle slightly at the soda. I sampled varied quantities of alcohol, but never more than a single glass, and to be honest, I am not a lover of it. Although I have a liking for wine, I will only truly drink when I feel like it. I begin to eat and grin. Not having to cram myself with pounds of food each sitting is pleasant, and I don't necessarily have to eat much anymore since I can sense that my immortality will pass my need for food soon enough. I grimace slightly and sigh. My immortality has rescued me more times than I can count right now. To be honest, I would not have been able to push myself as hard as I did without it. I can now successfully regenerate minor limbs, such as my fingers. Not that I really want to be in a position where I have to regenerate limbs. Because it informed me of the changes I am going through, I am somewhat terrified by what it has done because I had no idea the complete depth of what a wish from Shenron of all dragons is capable of. Shenron was proven early on to be able to revive individuals and confer immortality with the minimal power at his disposal, yet, because to a lack of strength, he was unable to compete Zamasu's immortality, which is why I want for it to be self-improving. I only need to wait, to be continued. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscribe for more amazing videos, and of course, drop a comment down below to let me know your thoughts.